Hi, and welcome back to another Harry's Hobbies video. And what I'm doing today, I'm still working on the Graham's Motorcycle Emporium diorama. And as you can see, I've added quite a bit of things to it. The lighting. I don't think I'm going to add any more LEDs. But at this point, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to weather this stuff out so that it's not quite so bright and shiny and brand new looking. And the grasses that I added in another video have now completely dried. That took a long time to do because it was so soaked and the water had to evaporate out. And I'll also be weathering this side as well. And this will tone all these brightness of the colors and stuff down. And what I'll be using is, I have a black wash that is just basically an acrylic black that has been thinned out so that it will run, because you don't want to paint over them, you want to let it run. And then I have a gray, it's done the same way. And then from a garage sale quite a while back, I picked up some of these different colored washes. That one's a brown, this is a red, and this is a blue. And believe it or not, yes, it will add different ways of viewing stuff. So how I get started doing that, I start with the black and just dip your brush in. Hold this up at an angle so that it will run down, and we just kind of brush it over the top. And you want to let it run and fill in quite a bit of the gaps and try to get it to cover and here, since we're going for an aged look, accuracy is not really an issue, and I let it run over just about everything on the model itself, using the black first, and it runs nicely into the pressed in areas of the walls of the model, and I'm not concerned with it splattering down onto the pavement part down there, because again, we want this to look old and used. And some of these areas it's kind of tough to get right inside, but again, if you don't concern yourself with the splattering effect, because we're going to be weathering that after we add some of the display metal parts, the cast metal details. That I've kind of been working on those off and on, but they're not completed yet, and that's one of the last things that goes on anyway, so that's not an issue. And you just work your way around the building. Pretty simple to do. I use the black first, because then when I go over it with a lighter color, the darker color will be underneath and will help make the lighter colors just stand out a little bit. And just be real, I'm being very generous with the way it runs. I don't know if you saw that or not, but a big drop just ran down, which is fine. On these larger sidewalls, it makes it a little easier to go over, because you can start at the top and just go all the way across. Let's see, where am I at there? Okay, there we go. You can see that it just kind of runs down. Easy to work with. I painted these corners white, But take note, I'm also going over those two to give them an aged look. And then we come around to the front of the building. Oh, I didn't get the back side of this part right here. Almost forgot that part. Okay, now we come around to the front of the building and we do the same thing. Just let it run down and fill in the small little detail areas on its own. And again, you can see where it's running down along the front edges there, and that's not an issue either. And this will also help tone down, because I am hitting the windows with a little bit of this, it'll tone down the brightness of the LEDs when they're on. And then as far as the fencing goes, we're going to do the fences too, same way. And these, since they've already got some black on them, it's not as critical to get a really thick coat on there, but just enough, again, to tone things down a little bit. And the gray will actually help in that regard. So that's the black. I'll kind of clean the brush out just a little bit, but again, that's not critical because we're switching over to a gray wash. And I like to do this while the other washes it's still a little on the wet side for the blending aspect. And it gives it a good weathered appearance. And it may look a little dark right now, but that's because it's still wet, hasn't had time to dry. Once again, we just go around the whole thing again. But on this one, it's going to be a little bit different when I get over here to this back building. As you remember in a previous video, I put this tar paper roof on, and you can see that it just stayed black. Flat black. Now what I'm going to do here is, and I'm actually going to do this in more than just this area as well, I'm going to take this gray wash and wash over the top of that tar paper roof, and we're just going to let that dry, let that gray dry. And I'm also going to use this gray wash and go inside here even though it's already been painted, and so I can get over the edges a little bit. Notice that in particular on this one, I kind of just let it run in, and I'm not putting it around the whole thing because I want it to look a little messed up, like it's been up there for a while. And I go around everything again. Give them a quick brushing, weather them out some more. And it may look a little dark when you first put it on, but give it time to dry. If it makes you feel better, if you're a little nervous, then take a paper towel and just dab it across where you think it's too thick. I rarely do that, but yeah, that's up to you if you want to do that. So now these other ones, don't spread them around as much. I'll start with the red, and it's got a little dropper top on it, and I take that off. So I can dip the brush into the paint, but don't lose that because you want to put it back on. And I dip in and I get a little bit of red. Just going to go around some of the windows with the red. Along the edges, and this blends in. It won't look as red once it dries because it's mixing in with the grays and the blacks that are already there. Now you're going to see some red, but it's not going to stand out as a bright red. Again, if you make a little mess, miss a spot, you don't have to worry about that because you kind of want that aged look. And I'm going along and I'm hitting the buildings again on the front. Just a little bit here and there. This helps with the age. I know using red sounds a little weird, but the end result is worth a little extra effort. So we're done with the red. Again, we kind of rinse our brush out a little bit, but that's not critical. I'm going to go over and get the blue. Even though the basic color of the model is blue, this too is going to help just highlight, and that's really what you're doing with the washes. You're looking to highlight and bring out the subtle details. We're just going to dab some of this blue here and there. You don't have to go all over the entire thing. Just where you feel like it needs a little darkening or a little highlight stand out. And you just let that wash run down. And believe it or not, this will actually blend. When I first tried it, I thought it was crazy to add blues and reds, but it worked out pretty good. We're going to move over to the brown. And these are all water-based, so they're very easy to clean up. Very quick to clean up. Take that little cap off. And then we're just going to wash with some of the browns. Spots, just like with the blue before. Because once again, you want that aged effect, but you kind of don't want to overage. If that makes anything close to being sense. Excuse me. Excuse me for that. I think I'm catching a little bit of a cold. So now, yeah, I'm still going to do a little bit on the fence with this. Just spread it around. Get it here and there. Now I'm going to let that dry, and I may add a few little touch-ups here and there as we go along. with it, and all these colors will come into play when I start adding the cast metal details, and we'll be using all this stuff yet again. And that's the I don't know if you can see that real good or not. I'll take some pictures after it gets good and dry. And here's the back side. You still see it's kind of shiny. That's because it hasn't dried completely yet. And that's toned down the colors quite a bit. The front side has been toned down. And I'll get some close-up photos and post them as the slideshow format after the end of this video, which we're done with that. The first part of the weathering is complete. And like I said, there'll be some more touch-ups that'll take place and happen over time. I can already see I'm going to need some on this roof, so that'll be down the road. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the slideshow that follows it up. Thanks for watching.